the world at night, whether you're in Yosemite Valley or downtown Los Angeles or any place, is going to look vastly different. And it's a vastly different kind of beauty that I respond to in that. So the beauty part of looking at the landscape is where I'm an absolute traditionalist. The minimalist part and denying viewers heaps of information, of visible, tactile information, is where I'm trying to push into newer territory. The exploration into night photography came through spending long, quiet periods of time in remote portions of the desert at night. The idea of solitude and really stripping away a lot of information in an attempt to tell a story about it, which is a little bit of an oxymoron. When I started to photograph in Los Angeles in particular, I started to see Los Angeles as a visitor traveling through the city at night, as a place that that had a lot of resonance, oddly enough, to some of these spaces out in the open desert. You know, for one, Los Angeles is a city that's bounded on three sides by darkness. That positioning of it was something that conceptually made me think about Los Angeles as a different kind of landscape than the landscape we all know of Los Angeles, which is one that we can all conjure an image. If I said Los Angeles, it might involve sunshine, it might involve people with plastic surgery, it might involve tall palm trees. It can involve any number of things, but there are icons in that city that are linked to it tightly. And I wanted to look at a city that didn't have those icons, because Los Angeles is a very real place to me. It's a place with neighborhoods, with cultural diversity, with incredible scenery, incredible architecture, incredible views, and all of this kind of translated with that minimalist vision or language that I had developed working in the desert. When I'm influenced by something, it can really be heavy. You know, Cormac McCarthy's book, The Road, you know, that book was a metaphor for me about a lot. And it really took me to such a dark place, literally, that to look at and behold the world around us really became a kind of magnificent treat. That book really painted so many incredibly visual pictures. Platinum printing has been a process that I've been involved with for just about 20 years now. And it's a lot of time to devote to one particular photographic process. And for me, it's really about a commitment to knowing my materials on a very deep level, and a commitment to exploring the language of those materials that are unique to them. And that, to me, is really a compelling process to use, but also the results of it and the quality that is created from them is just something that it's very seductive to me. It's a really, really luscious and wonderful process, though it's one that's a little painstaking. Making platinum prints for me has been something of an exploration into the history of photography. I'm reacting to, and in some cases reacting against, the practitioners, the photographers, the artists who have worked before me. So my work is very traditional on one hand. It's made with a large, still, static view camera, and I'm using a 19th century printing process as part of that. But the work that I'm making, minimalist, quiet night photographs of urban and sometimes rural subjects, are really turning a lot of those traditions on their head. And I hope that in 100 years from now, that my work will be looked at as again, part of an exploration of landscape, not so much to tell you what Sunset Boulevard looked like, you know, in 2014, as much as what Scott Davis was doing as part of a larger tradition of landscape photography in the early 21st century. Because landscape photography will continue to evolve and change and have new subchapters, footnotes, major chapters, and so on.